What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Great rising. Test, test. Perfect. Hope everyone had a great night, and I hope everyone is ready to take some trades, man. Give me 1 second before we get started. Truthfully speaking, I was looking at the charts earlier today, but I'll do it again. Well, earlier in the morning. Um, we'll go one by one through every pair, so I'll turn them back on for you guys, just so we could, calculate ADR, calculate the STP, look at what pairs are left for the day, what we could be expecting for the rest of the week. Again, this is pretty much the first week of the month, so I'm not expecting anything too crazy out of the markets. Usually, again, the beginning of the weeks and the first week of the month and the last week of the month are usually either no volume or all the volume is going to come in during Asia and London session. Usually that's how the markets move, the beginning of the month and the end of the month. So again, we'll go through it one by one, and we will see what's left on the table for us, guys. Good morning, Jessica. Yeah. Good morning, Muhammad. Mr. Tyler, welcome, my brother. Can you look at AVAV? I don't know what that is, my brother. I look at Forex pairs. Forex pairs, indexes, and commodities is what I look at. Bro, been in the court for almost 30 minutes. You weren't there. That's my bad. Yeah, no, I was Well, if you want to really know what I was doing, sitting on toilet and flush. Oh man, give me a minute, man. Now I was awake. The usual time. I was up at 6. I looked at the charts. I didn't really see anything, so I just took a little nap. I woke up again at like 7:30. Um, and yeah, I just got back in the room again just now. I was like, and I wasn't really gonna turn the stream on either. I was like, yo, you know what? There's really nothing to trade. I'm not even gonna look at the charts today, but it's all good. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and tweet this out as well, so we could so I could tweet this out real quick, and then we will get started. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 1 second. Let me grab the link in Discord. Go to announcements. Go here. Copy link. Go to Twitter. I keep calling X Twitter, but it's like I've been calling it Twitter since 2011. I'm not gonna call it X. That's just such a. That's such a. It's just so boring. I'm gonna use X. Nah, that's so boring to say. Live trading session is live. We're bringing that on. Tesla fell 5% pre-market. Yeah, so I will say this, Tyler, I do look at some options, like some regular stocks. I could pull that up real quick. If you want, we could kind of do a breakdown. I usually don't keep them updated. That's the only thing. But the only two pairs that I kind of look at that's not on the Forex side is Tesla and Nvidia. You can see I have this kind of marked up. Not all the way. It's not completely updated because again, I don't really trade this, but I do like to keep an eye on it. But yeah, I'm not really interested in company stocks. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's we have a lot more money to be made on the Forex side of it. But yeah, we could even see like this is another reason why I don't really mess with stocks. Because at this point, like, what are we gonna trade? Right? Just look at the behavior of Tesla, right? Like this is why I don't really mess with this. And it's just there's really no volume left. Like as soon as the market open, it's gonna give you the move, and then there's no volume for the rest of the day. Then the next day there's no volume. Then the next day there's a little bit of volume. Then for yesterday you can see there's no volume, and then all of a sudden today, we went down 1,866 pips. Well, technically it's 186 pips in the pre-market, and the stock market is not even open yet for these pairs. So like for me, it's not even worth it. You know what I mean? Like the money that you're gonna make trading the regular foreign currency pairs or trading commodities or trading indexes. Is just so much more money to make on the other side of it. Now, again, I treat all of these pairs the same way. The same way I trade the Forex pairs is the same way I trade the indexes, the same way that I trade commodities, and is the exact same way that I trade, Tesla, Nvidia, all these other pairs. So at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. They all move. They all have the same reactive patterns. Again, the only difference is just really at the time that the market's gonna open. Like, we know we're not gonna have a lot of volume. We see it all the time, right? If you're not trading this, as soon as the market opens, you're most likely not gonna be catching any type of moves. So, my bad. Give me 2 seconds. Got it. Wouldn't open it if I were you. It's all good. All right, let me go ahead and tweet this. Give me 1 second. Grab the link. Cut. Okay. I just posted the link. Give me 2 minutes, guys. Sorry about that. I think GCAD gave a very nice entry. We'll go over that. Let's see. Alright, so let's just go through this one by one, right? AU, we know we're still counter trending, so AU, I'm not going to be trading it. ACAD is still in the zone of consolidation. Again, also still just counter trending, still making higher highs and higher lows. So ACAD, I already know I'm not going to be trading this. Euro AUD, same as yesterday. It's just trapping traders, right? We're stuck in the zone of consolidation, where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time, right? For the last 2 days, pretty much yesterday and today, price has been rejecting these highs and rejecting these lows, right? As soon as price goes highs, we go back down. As soon as price goes down, it goes back up. As soon as we go up, it goes back down to the same area. Goes back up to the same area. Goes back down to the same area. Goes back up to the same area. Right? So EA, I'm not going to trade it. We'll wait for the breakouts. ECAD, right? ECAD, we are looking for a pullback, right? We're trading at a higher high. We're all the way at the top at this point, right? So I am going to be expecting a pullback to be given on ECAD. We already have 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, looking for this week. I'm not expecting price to continue, but let's turn off these session breaks real quick so we can see a little bit more clarity of what we're talking about, right? We know that we have a lot of gaps in the market, right? We have a gap here on the start of the second week. We have a gap here at the start of the third week. We have a gap here at the start of this week, right? Gaps in the market reset the trend. So technically speaking, could price continue this push to the top side? Absolutely, 100%. Right? However, again, we just got to keep it true to our rules. Once again, after 3 weeks of rise, we're expecting price to either drop or give us a no net, right? Move sideways. At this point, price is trading at a higher high, right? We broke above our daily high. We broke above our 4-hour high. Again, everything is color coordinated for the people who are watching us for the first time. Our daily highs and lows are the gray boxes. Our 4-hour highs and lows are the blue boxes. And you can see that price broke above our daily. Price broke above our 4-hour. We could do that in the 4-hour time frame, right? And we broke above our 30-minute as well. So at this moment, once again, STP as well for the day. At this point, I don't even know where my phone is at. Let's do this real quick, right? STP for the day on this pair, EuroCAD, 105 pips is ADR, right? The safe take profit, the STP minus 33% is 70 pips. Right, and we already did 71 pips for the day. So EuroCAD is already done for the day. I'm not looking at anything else on EuroCAD. right? Euro USD just continuing the uptrend, right? We had this 30-minute high yesterday. We know we had higher high, higher low, back to the top side. I'm not gonna update that. I'm actually gonna leave this 30-minute box out of it. Then 90 minus 33% is 60 pips. And we already did 61, 62 pips. So EU is already done. I was contemplating whether it hit SCP or not. I think it missed by a pip or so, but risked it anyway. It's all good. BC Game, welcome to the stream, my brother. Good morning, good morning. GA is still moving counter trend, so this is one that I'm currently still gonna take a step back from. Right, GA, we're pretty much trading in peak high territory in this area for GA. Same thing we were talking about yesterday, guys. There's nothing new. Same thing, we just gotta wait for these breakouts. Right, we're stuck in the zone of consolidation where price has rejected these highs for how long? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different times at the highs, and at the lows the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 different times at the lows. We're just stuck in the zone of consolidation. So I can't be looking for these buy positions to the top side until we get those breaks. Once we get those breaks, that's when I'll start trading this once again. So GA for me, I don't even have to look at STP. We can see how price is reacting to these highs, just giving us rejections, going back down. So you said you took GCAD. Let's take a look. $77 pips. Alright, we already did 86 pips, so this is already done for the day. Now really it's just, was it a good entry, was it a bad entry? I mean, you took profit, it was a good entry, right? But we also know that this is a pair that we are looking for that third month push to the top side. But again, same thing that we explained yesterday, right? The fact that price never gave us a valid break of these highs, the fact that price gave us these exhaustion candles to the top side, is the reason why I'm not really expecting price to continue this uptrend push, right? At this point, even on the 30-minute, we're still looking good. Again, we're pretty much trading in a really big zone, just because when price gave us this lower low, lower high, lower low, it gave us the higher high, never gave us a pullback. It just continued the trend to the top side. So we know that we're trading between this higher high over here and this higher low. Again, at this point, internal time frame, we could see that price induced the highs, gave us a rejection of the highs, and then started giving us lower low, and this is a lower high over here. So for GCAD, for me, again, already for the day, STP is already hit, so there's nothing left on the table. And again, it wasn't really a bad trade, because technically speaking, you caught the pullback. So it's not really such a bad trade, just more of one where you just gotta babysit it for a little bit to make sure that it's not just gonna reject highs and then just pull back down. You know what I mean? But STP is already hit. This is a pair right now that already gave us the inducement to the highs. Not really going to be looking to take this trade until we get that break. Once we get that break, we got to pull back. Once we get that pullback, we'll start looking to take those trades. Mr. Donovan, the legend. You're the legend, man. Welcome, welcome. See, I hope that made sense, Mohammed. Alright, GJ, we could already see ADR for the days already hit. Right, pretty much did exactly what we wanted it to do. It gave us the break, gave us a little retest, just continued back down to the bottom, which is good. Right, it gave us a change of character, it gave us a break of structure. We're below the 800 EMA, we're still testing the 800, right? At this point, if we could get another candle before the end of the day to break below these lows down here, then I'd like to take a pullback. Once we get the pullback, that's where I'll take the trade to go back down to the bottom. Right, so this is looking good. However, GJ is also a pair that has a third week high to the top side. But again, based on structure and where we're at the top of the zone of consolidation where price has rejected already before. So I'm not expecting price to give us that third week push to the top side. But again, what I'm going to keep an eye on the 30-minute is if price gives us a valid break below the 800, then I already know that this third week push to the top side is invalidated. If price just gives us this inducement and we start making internal higher highs and higher lows, then we know that for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll start taking those trades back to the top side. So we just got to be a little patient with GJ. Again, already STP for the day's already been hit, ADR for the day's already been hit. There's nothing left on the table for us on GJ for the day. GJ is still or GU is still making higher highs and higher lows, which is good. Still expecting a pullback before anything else, but we'll keep an eye on it. 69 pips is STP. We've done 68.6, pretty much already done. I'm not going to be trading, just 1 pip off. Right, we had a gap on NZD USD that we finally filled going to the top side, so we're also on day 100 EMA on the daily time frame, which is good. In this area, we're finally in our point of interest where we want to start looking to take those short positions. Right, so as soon as we start making lower lows and lower highs on NZD USD, I'll start taking those trades again. And once again, 62 pips is ADR, minus 33% is 41 pips. STP is 41 pips, and we already did 45 pips for the day. So NZD USD is already done. My 30-minute zone is smaller than yours. My bad. For which pair were you talking about? It's probably, I just haven't really updated my 30-minute time frame yet. I haven't updated none of the boxes, so that's probably why it's a little different. But my bad, which pair were you talking about? For GCAD? Oh, okay, so you have it smaller. I'm assuming you have it probably somewhere here. Now, GCAD, this is how you're supposed to have it for these highs and these lows. And again, the reason why is because you had lower low, lower high. This isn't considered a lower low over here, lower high, lower low. This is all part of the same trend, right? The same way that this is all part of the same trend. And the reason why is because there is no pullback, right? Are we going to say that this was higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high to the top side? Or is this just all part of the same trend? There is no pullback. Right, this is not a significant pullback, this is not a significant pullback, this is not a significant pullback. This is just all part of the same trend. You can check the reason for entry later on the spreadsheet. Okay, but again, regardless, not a bad trade. Right, you had the rejections of the lows. As soon as the market opened, it gave you the rejection of the lows. Right, and then internal time frame, you got the change of character. Right, started making higher highs and higher lows to continue. Even give you an inverse, a flip zone engulfing candle here. So US 30 is still consolidating, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're still just moving sideways on US 30. I'm not really going to be trading US 30 either at this point for today. I do like the fact that price gave us the inducement to the highs and then gave us this engulfing candle here. However, am I going to take this trade? To be honest with you guys, probably not. And the reason why is, again, right now there's just way too much news going on, especially with the indexes. I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable taking more positions at these highs. I really don't. Regardless of what direction we're going in. Right now I'm just not comfortable looking for entries on indexes. There's just way too much shit going on. Regardless of everything else, we're in a zone of consolidation where we're rejecting highs and we've been in these lows as well. So we'll wait it out. Again, I'm not going to be anxious to take this trade. This looks like a picture perfect trade. You would think so, right? But it's really not. We have no lower lows and lower highs. We have no confirmation that the direction of the trend is finally going to turn around and go short. If we would have had a valid break, maybe, and then, you know, a continuation trend, maybe. But at this point, I'm just not going to take a trade. Again, we're stuck in this little zone over here. And where are we right now? We're in the middle. I'm not going to take a trade in the middle of the zone of consolidation. Right? Especially going counter trend when we're still making higher highs and higher lows. There's just no way I'm going to do that to myself. Right? So we do have an engulfing candle. We'll see what price does. If it goes into profit, cool, whatever. We'll let price do what it has to do. Once we get confirmations that our entries are pristine, that's when I'll start taking the trades. There's no need to feel anxious about it. No need to feel like you're missing out on something. It's never a missed opportunity in the markets, right? If you have your rules, you got to follow your rules. If your rules aren't being followed, then there's no trades to take. If your rules are being followed and you don't take a trade, alright, then that's a missed opportunity. But if your rules aren't being followed, it can't be a missed opportunity. It doesn't make any sense. It's not part of your plan. USD CAD is still moving counter trend, so I'm not going to be trading USD CAD. USD ZAR, we're still looking for price to fill this gap up. Again, USD ZAR and USD CAD are pretty much trading in the exact same way. We know that USD ZAR, we're still missing that one push to the top side, right? The third level push back to the top, right? And what we know we were looking for, price to come down and fill this gap up at the bottom. So I'll start looking for entries on USD ZAR again once we fill this gap, right? We've been down in this area for the last couple days. We've missed it by a few pips a few times. So hopefully we could go down just a little bit more today just to fill this gap up, and then potentially for the rest of the week, right? The ending of the week, we'll start looking for trades again on USD ZAR. Or even maybe for next week, we'll start looking for these trades. USD ZAR note clear, and the swings are massive. Yeah, man, that's why I'm just so ready to trade this already. Alright, once we get this, I'm like, there's two levels, there's 2 points of interest that I'm kind of looking at, which at this point is obviously the gap that we have here at the bottom, and then we have this daily engulfing candle over here. If we could get price to give us a pullback into the daily engulfing, oh man. Take a buy at the low of consolidation. You know, it's been a minute that we haven't taken a trade like that. Been a very long time that I haven't taken a trade like that. I'd rather wait for USD CAD to clear up. Yeah, me too. That's kind of the confluence that I have for both of these pairs, where it's like as soon as the first thing I want to see is ZAR fill that gap up. Once ZAR fills that gap up, once USD CAD starts clearing up as well, oh man, it's lights out, bro. I'm telling you. I talk about you often in the streams, Donovan. I be telling people like, I don't know what's wrong with me with USD CAD, but the one person in our group that knows how to trade USD CAD is Donovan. But brother, like it's crazy how USD CAD is the only pair that I am just not good. I'm not good with it. I don't know why. It's just I don't understand. I think I've only taken one trade on USD CAD this year. Let's see if I can find it. If I'm not mistaken, I think I've only taken one trade on USD CAD this year. Yeah, right here. Well, what was this? March. Think about it. It was a beautiful 372, right? Engulfing candle straight to profit, right? It was a great trade. Finally caught a trade on USD CAD, but fuck, man. You go look at Donovan's portfolio. That motherfucker takes USD CAD every day. Like how? How, Donovan? Teach me your ways, man. But I'm getting there, bro. USD CAD, I'm telling you, like for the last 2 years, bro. Just time rotation, yeah. Nah, I got it. It's all good. It's all the same shit at the end of the day. So USDs are on the same boat. Gold already hit ADR for the day, so we're already done with that. We also already seen that price filled this gap up, which is good. We still have this gap at the top of the market. Still going to be looking for price to fill those gaps up, and then I think that's the final gap that we have at the top, right? And then the next gaps that we have are the gaps here at the bottom, right? We know that gold at this point has been in this little zone of consolidation. Not even little, this is a 4-hour zone of consolidation. Where we've just been moving sideways for the last couple weeks, where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. So again, I kind of just wanted to turn the stream on so you guys could see what we're looking at, what we're about, you know, how to attack the markets, showing you guys that there's no need to be anxious or nervous to take into a trade. Like there's no need for any of that. Again, especially when you have rules, crystal clear rules will always tell you what you need to see. Right? What I don't like either, let me take a look. Oh. We'll go on with that later. Bitcoin, I'm not trading Bitcoin just yet. All right, I either want to see price start giving us lower lows and lower highs, or I would want to see price break above our 4-hour and daily highs at this point before I take a trade. Let me delete this. It's already done with. All right, so in this area, I'm not going to take a trade, right? We took a trade down here because we went back below. We started making lower lows and lower highs. We had the 372, boom, back down to the lows, right? Once we got to the lows, now we're coming back to the highs. All good. I'm either going to be looking for price to break the highs to continue, or I'll be looking for price to give us the inducement the same way that it did here to then start catching trades going back down, right? So at this point for Bitcoin, we just got to be a little patient. And then the last pair on our list that I'm still not trading because we are stuck in a zone of consolidation. We've been consolidating for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 days is US oil. And we still just got to wait for price to let us know what it wants to do. So, all the same, my brother. You know, yeah, facts. That's exactly what I'd be telling everybody. BTC looks like it's extending to peak formation. I agree. And that's kind of where I was at too when I'm looking at 30, right? Where I'm like, you know, these short positions look beautiful, right? Beautiful, right? We have an engulfing candle. What more do we want to see, right? But it's the same with US 30. Like looking at how price is reacting, we broke above our daily highs, we broke above our 4-hour highs, we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. I already know that this is a low probability entry over here, right? So it's really very similar to Bitcoin when we're looking at it on the higher time frames, right? It does look like price just want to continue to push to the top side. It would make sense, right? There's so much going on, but we'll see, right? What I do like already, you know, push 1, push 2, push 3, and we're pretty much just consolidating up here where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows. We still don't have a clean break of these highs. We're still just testing candles, no clean break of the highs. So it's just more about waiting it out, right? If we could get a valid break above, then we'll continue. You know, something else that I had gathered in from last month is the fact that we had 2 months of rise. Last month we didn't get that third push. So that's something else that I was looking at that was like, maybe price isn't ready to go back down. And we also had this daily candle that I was expecting. I wanted to see price give us an engulfing candle here, but we missed it by a few pips, which is okay to go short. But we'll see. Again, it's just really about waiting for the right time, and right now is not the best time to take a trade, right? We're stuck in this little area. We'll see what price wants to do. Again, if we start downtrending, this is when I'll start looking to take trades again back down to the bottom. Or we're going to get the rejection of the lows, and we're going to start making higher highs and higher lows, and this is where I'll start looking to take trades to go back to the top side. You think it would be a V1 on Bitcoin? I don't think so. Right? Because at this point, we already completed the 3 pushes. Right? We already had push 1, V1, push 2, V2. And this is just peak high over here. Right? We have push number 3. Top of the zone of consolidation. We know the market is going to do 2 things. It's either going to consolidate or it's going to give you that double top, the information to go down into the downtrend. And right now we're just consolidating. Right? So it's kind of where I'm at. Again, we just got to wait for price to really let us know what it wants to do at the end of the day. Because it's kind of very similar to US 30, right? US 30 at one point, you know, we were making higher highs and higher lows, and then we created a double top. We got the change of character, we got the break of structure, but then price all of a sudden rejected the 800, came right back to the top side, right? So this was one of the questions like, are we going to have a first zone of consolidation going back down? Is price just going to continue to push to the top side? Right? Understanding that we have these gaps still at the top of the market as well. There's just a lot of shit that we had to take into consideration on top of all the other news that we have going on worldwide. There's just too much going on. Too much uncertainty, I would say. But again, we already know once you start looking at the charts, if you have to start questioning stuff that's happening, you just gotta let it go. Let price do what it has to do. Once it gives you the confirmation, just take the trade. Once you have the confirmation, take the trade. And that's it. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing left for the day. Again, I just wanted to turn the stream on just so you guys could see kind of what I do in the morning, how I prep before I take a trade. Again, a day like today, there's nothing left on the table. There's nothing for us to trade. Again, at this point, US 30 is the only thing that gave us quote unquote an entry, but it's not even a good entry. So I am not going to be risking this trade. But any questions, any other pairs you guys want me to look at in specific, whether or not they were on our list, let me know. If nobody has any questions, then we'll be done for today, and then we'll be back again tonight for the isolation session, the market breakdowns. So let me know. Anything you guys want me to talk about? Anything you guys want me to explain again? GJ, I got you. Yeah, GJ for me at this point, what I'm looking at, right? What I like about the 30, well, let's start from the top to the bottom. I got you, right? Daily time frame, we're still technically uptrending, right? We had a previous higher high, higher low, then we trended all the way to the top side to a higher high. Price came down, gave us another higher low, just tapped into it, right? Once it came up, we're stuck in the zone of consolidation. So let's just talk about what's really happening here, right? We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. We're back at the highs, where price is rejected 2 times before. We're back up there. What I like about GJ is that third week push to the top side that we would have for this week. But once again, the fact that we're back at the highs of the zone of consolidation and price on the 30-minute gave us a change of character already, and it gave us the break of structure. I'm kind of on the table, on the fence with this one. Now, what I like about GJ, to continue this third week high, which would be great, is the 800 EMA. The fact that price just gave us the inducement of the 800, didn't give us the break below it, it just tapped into it, and then we see one green candle right back to the top side. If price decides to just continue the push to the top side and give us higher highs and higher lows before we get a break, then that's when I'll take the trade to go back up to that third week push to the top side. But if price gives us a valid break below these lows, if we just get another candle closure below these lows, then I know we'll just look for a pullback, lower high, right, to retest the break of structure, the retest lower high, to then continue into the lower lows and continue those downtrend pushes. That's kind of what I'm seeing on GJ. Ideally would love to see this go up, obviously. But at this point, what are we looking at here? We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. There's really nothing here to look at. We either want to see price break the highs to continue, for the long-term view of it, or we're going to see exactly what price did the last 2 times we were at these highs, where we get the rejection, we got the change of character, we got the break of structure, we got the retest. Right, in this area there was an engulfing candle, we got the retest of the engulfing candle, and it went right back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. Right, same thing when it came back up. We got the rejection candles, the exhaustion candles, we got the change of character, we got the break of structure. Right, it went back down to the bottom, gave us a retest, and then it came back down again, gave us a rejection of the lows, went back to the highs, gave us back down, rejection of the lows, went back high. So the name of the game is just repetitive patterns every single time. And we just gotta wait for those confirmations. Once we wait for those confirmations, we'll start taking those trades. It's 50-50 if it doesn't break V2. I'm not convinced it's A1. Yeah, no, I'm still not convinced it's A1 still either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still really not. Just looking at it, right? Like, this doesn't even look like a valid A1, right? Just looking at how the trend looks. So I'm also not convinced that this is A1, right? And on top of everything else, we're still in that uptrend. Right, we know sometimes when we're looking at the MMP, sometimes we'll have a variation where we'll get A1 before we get the trend to change, which is okay, that happens sometimes. But what I'm thinking of this is the same thing that happened to us before, right? When we were looking at GJ at one point, was it GJ? Let me think, hold on. I don't think it was GJ. It was US 30. US 30 I think it was. Let me see. Yeah, it was US 30. Was it US 30? No, I don't think it was US 30. There was a pair of, like, maybe a year ago, or possibly now even a little bit longer than that, that it looked like price wanted to start downtrending, and I'm telling you, it looks identical to GJ. I just don't remember what pair it was, but I remember it. Like, I remember visually seeing that. Something that looks very identical to what GJ is doing right now. I just don't remember what pair it was. But either way, right, I'm not convinced that this is A1 just yet. It's like pretty much what you said. Was it US 30? I don't know. I don't think it was US 30. Right, because I wanted to say, like, maybe US 30 when US 30 was in this area over here. Right, when we had push 1, push 2. But nah, this isn't even, I don't know. 2022 of US 30? Yeah, maybe. That's why I was like looking at this and I'm like, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't look the same. But at one point on US 30, we thought that price was going to give us the turnaround, right? I think it was this. Yeah, you actually might be right, right? Because we had the double top, we had the change of character, we had the break of structure. It continued, but then rejected the lows and just continued to push to the top side to where we're at right now. So with that being said, it's pretty much like what you said. You're getting old now? Yeah, man. I know. This is not good. It's just not good at all. But it's all right. Hey, man, the older the wiser, so I guess it's not a bad thing. It's not too bad. So yeah, same thing that you said. I'm not convinced that this is A1 until we get a real break of these lows. Once we start trending down, then I'll be like, all right, that looks good. But we'll see what it is. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Again, I'm not really taking any trades for today. If you guys want to scratch an itch and keep looking at a chart, I would say look at US 30. Look at US 30. Just keep an eye on this area. You could already see that price is struggling to get away from this area at this point. We've already tapped into this area twice. Um, Again, low probability, but if you want to scratch an itch and just keep looking at a chart, you guys could go ahead and look at US 30. Look at how price reacts to this engulfing candle that we have here. Um, that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to look at? I know it's been a pretty boring couple days here, but all right, Donovan. Speak to you later, my brother. It was nice having you here. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Before we turn the stream off, let me know. Any other pairs you want me to look at? Anything else at all? Let me know. We'll give you guys give you a minute. We'll turn the stream off in a minute. Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate you, my brother. No questions? Alright, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. We'll see you guys later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the isolation session. See you guys there.